When you pull up to the pump, how do you know you're getting what you paid for?
The state has a system to make sure every gallon you buy is really a gallon, but the I-Team found some pumps haven't been checked in more than a decade.
The I-Team's Dan Lampariello is on your side following the inspection process, breaking down what you should know before filling up.
For many drivers, a stop for gas is just another errand. You swipe, select, and squeeze. Most drivers don't think twice about whether the numbers on screen match what's actually going into their tank. Do you trust what you're getting?
Yeah, I keep an eye on the meter and what it's costing.
I've never even questioned it till now.
Yeah, I don't really trust it that much, personally.
But trust is a big part of the process, especially with the ups and downs of gas prices.
I just pump and hope for the best, really.
But there are checks and balances.
I'm gonna go ahead and open up the compartment and look inside.
Michael Picard is a consumer protection inspector with the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, the agency responsible for making sure fuel pumps are working properly.
Someone will say, I went to the station and filled up, and I don't know if I got what I paid for. So we'll go out and follow up and do an investigation and make sure that its dispensing is accurate.
That process is detailed. First, Picard checks the inside of the pump, looking for leaks and tamper-proof seals.
Checking, looking through all your wires, looking to make sure there's no credit card skimmers or anything like that in there.
If everything checks out, then each grade of fuel gets tested for flow, making sure what's showing up on the meter is actually what's coming out of the nozzle.
And I'm going to pump until I get to 5 gallons, and then I'll take my reading.
Under state law, there are strict standards that have to be met. Readings are measured in cubic inches, and the output must be within 0.5%.
So on 20 gallons of fuel, that's maybe less than 1/10 of a gallon. So your tolerances are very stringent for these pumps.
Still, Picard says pumps aren't perfect, and even with newer technology, they can wear out over time.
So the most common issue we find during inspections is what we call meter drift or calibration drift, which essentially is when that meter is dispensing slightly more or slightly less fuel than indicating.
How often during your inspections are you finding some that are out of calibration?
Yeah, most retail fuel dispensers pass inspection on their first visit.
So how do you know if the pump you're using passed? Just look for the silver tamper-proof sticker.
These are designed so that they can't peel off. If you try and peel it off, it'll show void. So the stickers can't very easily be peeled off. So if it's missing one, then it's probably due for that station to be tested. It hasn't been tested for a while.
Well, the state says inspections are supposed to happen yearly. With only 6 inspectors and thousands of pumps across the state, most happen every 2 years. But the I-Team found some pumps haven't been checked in much longer. At Sam's Club in Scarborough, the sticker here shows this pump was last certified in 2019. At Waldo's in Falmouth, it was 2018. And the oldest we found was at this market in Lovell. The single pump here has a sticker dating back 14 years to 2011. We even found a few pumps with no stickers at all.
Should those folks that are running those gas stations be reaching out to you to make sure they're up to date?
They certainly can, yeah, that's not bad. And we do get calls, and one of the best things to do is if you notice a place, especially a place that you go frequently, if their stickers are out, it's good to give the state a call.
Picard says despite some being out of date, they still have a high compliance rate from station owners.
When adjustments are needed, they're usually typically minimal and they're adjusted quickly.
And he says that's the goal, making sure you're getting every gallon you pay for.
This pump looks good, test out fine.
And joining us now for a deeper dive into his findings is the I-Team's Dan Lampariello. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Always great to be with you guys. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you. What led you guys on the I-Team to do this story?
Well, we drive around so much across the state, and we fill up for gas all the time. And me and the photographer and one of our former teammates, Marissa Bodner, was the one who came up with this idea after we saw some stickers that were out of date, and we were just curious about how this whole process works. So we reached out to the state and we're like, hey, we're seeing some of these out of date, how often you were expecting them. And they invited us out to see how it worked, and it was really informative.
Yeah, we appreciate their transparency for sure. And you mentioned it's hard for someone to tamper with the pumps. Can you talk more about that?
It is, especially on modern pumps. They take special keys that you need to open them up and all that. And most of the time when you open up the modern pumps, according to the state, they'll shut down completely and shut down the whole station. There are fail-proof systems built into this. And then inside the pump in general, there are also these lead tamper-proof seals, so nobody can go in and change the calibration unless you're authorized.
Who's in charge of the calibrations? Like, is it the Department of Agriculture? Is it the individual gas stations? Well, I mean, whose job is that?
Sure, so the calibration is on the actual station owner, the gas station owner. When they install new pumps or they want to get it done yearly or semi-annually, they call a private company that will come out and calibrate pumps. That's what that company, that's all they do basically. Then once that maintenance happens, they are required to call the state and make sure the state knows. They'll come out and do their own inspection, make sure that it's filling up what it's supposed to.
What should customers do, you know, if they see something wrong? Or
Keep an eye on those
Yeah.
stickers. That's the easiest way for you to see if your pump's up to date. And if you have any questions, the state is like, give us a call. They only have 6 people, so it's tough to get from Aroostook County down to York County in 1 year. So they rely on people to report things so they can go out and get ahead.
I can't remember if you mentioned this, but how often should they be checked?
So the state says they aim for yearly. But again, because there are so many thousands of pumps, that it's just very difficult. Right now they say they're on a biannual basis. They get most pumps, but in rural parts of the state, like that one in Lovell, obviously some kind of fall off the beaten path, if you will. So that's why it's important for people to report, and also on gas station owners to be looking at this and calling the state as well.
And we know you talked to a couple of drivers, you know, for the
Yeah.
story. What else did they say just about the topic? Or, you know, a lot of us have that sort of one gas station that we all go
sure.
to, things like that.
A lot of people have rewards. They go
Yeah.
to one single place. So many people we talked to were like, man, I've never even thought about
I had
this.
never
I had
thought about
no
it."
idea the state even, you know, checked this out. And once we explained it, they're like, wow, that makes sense. It's good to know that people are actually checking behind the scenes to make sure we're getting what we paid for. But most of the time you swipe and you're like,
I
man,
look
I
at the
hope I'm
price,
getting
yeah,
what I
and
paid
I
for.
just- right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I've thought about it, because right when you push the lever, right, to get
Yep.
the gas, and it does, nothing
All of a
goes
sudden
in.
it jumps right up.
Yes, and I'm like going, wow, I wonder if I'm getting what I paid for. And I'm sure there's a lot of people probably thought the same thing.
Absolutely, but the biggest takeaway I found from this, it's very stringent. That little can that he's putting it into, it's down to like a cubic inch. So on a 20-gallon tank, it is down to like a 1/10 of a gallon that it has to be accurate to.
Okay.
So they are held to a very stringent, you know, part of all of this too.
So what should people do if they think there's an issue and they want it to get inspected?
If they head to our website, we have the contact information for the Department of Conservation, at Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, which is the one that has the Weights and Measures division. They're the ones to call. So head to our website, WGME.com, fox23may.com, has all the info there.
Yeah, if you want to see your story again, you can go to the iTeam section of that too.
Absolutely, on our
All
YouTube
right.
page as well.
Dan, thanks so much. It's something we do every day.
Yeah,
You know, so.
absolutely.
All right, on our side.